All right, so we didn't get the chance to talk with you when you were in town with McGraw a month or two ago, and the reason why I'll bring this up is this. I guess it was about 2 years ago, Russell Dickerson was on tour with McGraw, and he came into the studio to hang out one afternoon, and he couldn't stop thanking us over and over again for saving him from the CrossFit mania of Tim McGraw. He's a crazy person, by the way. And Dickerson was saying that basically every day you had to report for, like, workout duty. Did you get dragged into this?
You know, I flipped tires with Tim one day, and that was enough for me. I said, I'm good. You can continue to do this. I'm good. I don't need to have an 8-pack. This is why I eat cookies on my bus.
Where did he take you to flip tires on tour?
In the parking lot.
So he has, like most people have a bus or a trailer or an 18-wheeler that's dedicated with, like, lighting and sound. There's a portion of his equipment that's dedicated to huge tires?
He literally travels with a full Planet Fitness sponsored gym trailer. It is a semi-truck and has 140-pound tires that he flips casually throughout the day.
So be honest, you couldn't wait to get the hell off that tour and go to a cheesecake factory, could you?
I'm like, honestly, I love you so much, Tim, but bye. See you later.
Does he give you a raise the eyebrow, an approving look if you say, okay, I really just want a cookie right now?
I think he just knows that about me. He watched me try to lift a tire, and he laughed so hard because I was trying to lift it with my arms, and he was like, no, do it with your legs. And I'm not kidding. I thought I was going to pop a blood vessel.
And then he probably lifted it with you in it.
He literally was, I was like, how far do you throw these? And he was like, oh, you know, like down to the end of that bus and back, which, mind you, was like the length of a football field. I'm like, all right, Tim.
It's just crazy. Seriously, though, outside of a new appreciation for the joys of eating unhealthily, what did you pick up being on the road with Tim and watching him do his thing as a headliner night after night?
Tim is one of the best people I've ever met, truly, and I'm not just saying that. He is, I think what's so inspiring about him, not only just his kindness, but his ability. You know, we think about him, he was one of the true 90s artists, but you don't think of him in that way because he's so relevant right now, and I think that's an art to continue to elevate decade after decade.
Well, and there's so many great artists on the horizon right now. Who are you listening to these days?
Oh, gosh. Let's see, you know who I really like? I really like Ella Langley.
Oh, my God. I am so all about her. In fact, I was just about to ask you about her, so no, please continue.
I think she is doing something that's super cool, and that song that's everywhere on TikTok, you know, it just reminds me of what I grew up on. I think she's really good.
See, there's so many. We are just all in on. I've just made a partial list here of female artists in country music right now. Ella Langley, Lauren Watkins, Ashley Cook, Megan Maroney, Ashley McBride, Kelsey, Lainey, you. There are this new crop of female singer-songwriters who are doing their thing with such frankness, and it's really refreshing, and it's something that in all of my years of doing this, I've never been around this many female artists who are doing it at this high a level. Do you guys communicate? Do y'all hate each other? Do you like each other?
First of all, no, we love each other. Good. I mean, it's a really good group of girls.
Because guys will kill each other, so this is good.
That's fair. No, I mean, I think it's a healthy level of competition between all of us, and I think we're all inspired by the next. I mean, you are right in saying there is just, and no disrespect to the men out there, but the ladies are bringing like the heat right now as artists.
Yes.
And I'm inspired by every single one of those girls that you just mentioned for different reasons. And it's fun to feel like you got to stay on your toes because there's a lot of good ones behind you and in front of you.
And your album 29 was one of these that we all know the headspace you ran at the time. And there was a rawness in the emotion on that album. When you started working on the next project, when you started working on Hummingbird, Again, you were in a much different headspace. But was there a conscious effort to try to tap into something new? Because I'm sure there were people behind the scenes going, you know what, 29 Part 2 would be great.
I mean, I think when you listen to Hummingbird, you can hear still that vulnerability in there and that heartache. I mean, I think people, that's why I came out with We Don't Fight Anymore as the lead single off of what ended up being Hummingbird, is because at my core, that's who I am. I'm a storyteller, but I really, for some reason, I don't want to say I'm addicted to pain, but I gravitate towards pain in the way that I write music. And so that's never going to be something that I shy away from. But I think I think what 29 did for me is it showed me how vulnerable I could be no matter what scenario I'm going through in life.
Is it tough to go back to that space in your head when you're singing those songs night in, night out, or do you see the impact that it has on the audience out there and so it takes you to a different place?
I think that's the beauty of songs is so many, I wrote What He Didn't Do in a moment where I thought I was going to die of heartache. And now I get up on stage and I feel such confidence because I've watched so many people attach their stories to that song, and I've literally watched crowds get stronger from the beginning of that song to the end. And that's a beautiful thing. I wish everybody who's experienced hardships could feel the redemption night after night like I do.
Oh, that's what's so great about music. There's a common bond. Everybody's been there, for better or worse. Those heartbreaks happen to everyone. Yes. Now, we were mentioning earlier, last time you were here, of course, you opened for Tim. When you come to Carowinds on the 19th, this is your show. What's different being a headliner for you?
Outside of song count, I mean, we realize you're getting longer than 20 minutes here.
Yeah.
So what changes?
I think, when it's my show, I'm not competing with the environment that somebody else is creating. And what I mean by that is I am a storyteller first. I think you get a lot more of that when you're at my show, because I think people come to different artist shows for all different reasons. I think people come to my shows for the storytelling and the musicality. It's not about, the glitzy show. It's about the music.
Wanted to ask you something about the Stapleton duet. Modern recording is so crazy. Back in the day, you had to be in the same room at the same time, and I always thought that if you were recording a duet and you were actually in the room, that the chemistry would be better than if you were in separate places. Did you and Chris record that song together, or did he do his part in L.A., you did your part in Nashville or whatever, and then someone mixed it together?
Well, we were in different rooms for the Stapleton duet. I was in different rooms for I Hope You're Happy Now with Lee Brice, and I was in the same room with Ashley McBride for Never Wanted to Be That Girl.
Well, it's probably a good thing you weren't in the same room with Lee. I mean, we've known him a long time. He's not a clean person. The stench alone might be a little rough.
He's pretty gross, and he just wants to make me take shots of whiskey, and I can't keep up.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there's a tale of two cities. McGraw's got her flipping tires. Lee's setting up the bar. Fantastic.
That's it.
Get you out of here on this. So we mentioned you're playing a really cool outdoor performance venue at Carowinds, which, well, it's an amusement park, though. In the grand scheme of things, this is probably far from the strangest place you've ever performed. What is that number one for you?
Strangest. I'm going to take it all the way back to when I was 14 years old. I was in a bluegrass band, and we played an all-boys prison.